there are several different ways you can teach a behavior to a dog. One of them is called shaping. And shaping is simply rewarding the dog for all of their progress step by step by step. So for things like the down command, you can lure the dog in position. But for things like hold, it's much harder to lure a dog into holding something, so we use what we call shaping. All right, so you're gonna wanna have an item that your dog already likes. It can be a little plush toy, a little chew stick, whatever you'd like. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out by rewarding the dog for any interaction they have with their mouth or their nose, okay? All right, Chloe, sit. Yes, okay. So as soon as they interact with it in any way, we're gonna start that shaping process. So we're not even looking, they don't even have to open their mouth. We're just looking for any face interaction with the toy. Yes, good girl. Now Chloe kind of knows what I'm gonna ask for, so her mouth already comes open. But like I said, any interaction is gonna be rewarded at this stage. Yes, good girl. So when I was first teaching Chloe hold in the beginning, she would sniff it and I would say yes and give her cookie. Sometimes she would open her mouth a little bit to touch it. Yes, give it a cookie. But as you advance, you're gonna reward them less and less for the beginning things like simply touching it, and you're gonna reward for opening their mouth instead. So as they advance, you're gonna up the ante and only reward for the more advanced things. All right? Yes, good. So as soon as you got that touch in, go ahead and give them the reward. Next, we're gonna move up to asking them for to mouth it in some way, okay? So we're gonna wait and see if the dog offers the behavior of opening their mouth. Yes, good. So she touched it with her paw, she touched it with her nose, and then she eventually tried the opening with her mouth, and that's when she got her reward. So we'll try that again. Yes, good. So she understood that what she got rewarded for this last time was simply opening her mouth to touch the item. Yes, good. So when I felt her teeth on there, I'm gonna say yes, and then go ahead and give her the cookie. So the next thing you're gonna do, and this can be over the course of several lessons, it's not all gonna happen at one time. But the next thing you're gonna wanna do is reward them for opening and putting the object in their mouth. They don't have to hold the object, they don't even have to take the object. In fact, at this point, you're just asking them to open their mouth for the object. Yes, good. Yes, good girl. Very good. All right, so the next step, we're gonna ask them to hold it. But the most important thing to remember about asking the dog to hold it at first is to always be the one to take the object back. You want to take it back before the dog drops it. All right, so if you make a mistake, that's okay. But what we're gonna do is offer the item to the dog. If she takes it in her mouth, we're gonna say yes right away and take it back. You can even hold on to the object still instead of letting go completely. Yes, good girl. So it's being put in her mouth. She's kind of holding it for a second. Yes, good girl. All right, and as they become more and more successful with that, we're gonna up the ante again, and we might let go at this point. You can hold your hand really close to where the object is. Yes, good. So I barely let go. I was kind of still holding on, but you still reward for that instant of having it in the mouth. Yes, yes, good girl. All right, so that part is gonna move along. As you do more and more practice sessions, the dog's gonna start getting an idea of what you're asking for. Okay, Chloe said, good girl. All right, so this time I'm gonna ask for a longer hold. So usually I would give my dog, and you can do it any way that works for you, but I would give her the object and then just kind of hold my hand in a fist and then open it, and that would be, hold and then give it back to me. So hold, yes, good girl. Keep it really, really fast. If the dog drops it, that means you're asking for a hold that is too long. You need to backtrack a little bit and make sure you're the one that takes it from the dog, because a lot of times if the dog is dropping it and you say yes, you're reinforcing the drop and not the hold part. All right? Yes, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. So at first, make it super fast so you're successful each time. Yes, good girl. It's gonna be a quick give and take. Yes, good girl. All right, so you can see how we're shaping the dog from simply touching it with their nose and mouth to opening their mouth, to putting it in their mouth, to holding it. And that's all part of the shaping, is to get a behavior at the end. That's lots of little baby steps to get there. All right, sit. Hold it. Yes, good girl. All right, so something else you might encounter is a dog that is mouthing the item while they're holding it. One of Chloe's bad habits is jumping around on her feet while she's holding an item. And that's because in the early stages when she was doing it, I was saying yes because I was getting the hold, but I didn't wait for her to be still. So she was being trained to hold the item and dance on her feet, which is something I didn't realize I was actually reinforcing every time. So we had to back up and retrain hold with a still hold, and we're still working on that. So let's see how far we get. All right, hold, wait. Yes, all right, so you saw that paw come up. So we don't want to always reinforce that because after a while, it does create bad habits. Sit, hold, hold. Oh, I don't know what she's doing there. Almost thinking she's trying to sit pretty. Hold. Yes, good girl. All right, so I'm gonna try and wait a little bit longer to see if she'll hold still for me. Sit. Good, hold, wait. Yes, okay, as soon as she puts her foot down and she's in the position that I'm wanting her to be in, we're gonna say yes and reward. Hold. Yes, good girl. All right, so now we're reinforcing the foot down is when you get your yes. Sit, hold. Yes, good girl. And she's a pretty quick learner, so she tends to figure out what I'm asking for. All right, so we've got plushies that are really easy holds, but Chloe in particular did not like, hold on, she does now, but she didn't like things made out of hard plastic, whether it was a can lid or some play keys, a fake can of food. So we work on different items as we progress. So as she became more and more comfortable holding a plush, which is her favorite thing to hold, we added some other things in there. But when you add a new toy or item in there that has a different texture or feel, you're gonna wanna backtrack quite a lot and reward as soon as the dog touches with their mouth, puts it in their mouth, again, because you're basically retraining with a new type of object until the dog has had so many different kinds of objects that they just take it willingly. Sorry. Sit. Hold. Yes, so you'll make that hold nice and quick. Make sure you take that from the dog before the dog drops it. All right, let's try again. Hold. Yes, good girl. Very good. All right, hold. Yes, very good. So you can extend the time as your dog is ready. You don't want to ask for a hold that's longer than they're ready for because you don't want them to drop it. All right, sit. Very good. Hold. Yes. Another good tip for this is to maintain eye contact with your dog, because when you have eye contact with them, they are more ready to wait for what you're going to do next. They're going to have their focus on you and watching when you're going to allow them to drop the item. So I like to hold with, I try and do a hold fist. That's my hold, the drop, but also maintaining eye contact. Hold. Yes, good girl, very good. All right, so to sum up, you are going to train hold using shaping, which is rewarding your dog for each tiny little baby step they take on their way to their goal. In the beginning, it'll be mouthing the object, and then a quick hold, and then extended holds as the dog is ready. You want to make sure to take that toy or item from the dog before they drop it so that they're being reinforced for the hold and not the dropping of the item. And you want to make sure that you back up and start new for each different type of texture until your dog is used to it, and then you can offer them a variety of items and they'll pretty much take anything in their mouth because they're used to it. Yes, good girl. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a line in the comments below. I hope you and your favorite friends have a great day. Bye.